Good afternoon, good Sunday. This is 21st of March, it's March 21st, and this is the second lesson. We will go through the scripting and the first JavaScript program. Will be very simple, and the concept of tagging. Tags are, let me say, the most powerful element that we have in HTML. Actually, they are the basic of HTML, and we will also see some of the points that will open as some topics for the future lessons and for advanced topics, as we will see in the next slides. HTML, as we're saying, is just the basic language of web, and at the foundation of this language is the concept of tag. Tag is nothing other than a little piece of instruction with a way to open and a way to close it, where we say essentially what is in the middle of the tag, so between the open and the closure of the tag, how to show it, what is the way to display it on the page. So for example, if it is a title, if it is in bold, or if it is a paragraph, or other more complex function that we will see in the next lessons. Usually you have open and closure tag, but you have some tags that can be, let me say, auto-consistent with the closure. Wherever possible, I would suggest you to use the opening and closure. They are like parentheses in math, so it's very easy to read, it's very easy to understand, and if you format well the code, you can very quickly review and check if there are errors and where there are errors. Regarding the JavaScript tagging, just have a look on what we can do. Some are the very basic function, as the oldest one. For example, the first use that I remember of JavaScript is just to validate. That means to check and verify that the information we are setting in the form before sending the form to the server is correct. So for example, if something is expected to be numeric, just to be numeric, if specific length, to be specific length, or whatever specific regular expression, and we will see what are regular expression in some of the next lessons, they are supposed to be. So in this way, we are sure that the server will receive the proper content, at least in the format of the content, and we reduce the number of errors server side, because processing server side in case of huge amount of traffic can be pretty heavy. The other point that we can do is for different, more interactive approach. So for example, you can add videos, you can add games, you can add animation, and also one of the things that you can do together with Ajax is just to say you don't need to reload the full page, because the code is working for you to update only the part of the page that you needed. And the last topic, that is one of the most sensitive one, is just we can use JavaScript tagging to catch and retrieve information about user behavior. This is a very important point, because it opens the door to misbehavior, and we need to monitor and check properly that no one is performing some user check or some behavior without informing the user on the proper usage. But this is a topic for future lessons. It's a little bit advanced. We will see, not in the next weeks, but we'll talk about this topic. Just to go a little bit deep in the technical approach, we have to say that each tag can have different attributes, can have a name, can have an ID, can specify what type of the content is within the tag. So for example, the tag for JavaScript is called the script. You can add, I would suggest you to specify that the language is JavaScript and the type is text JavaScript. Old way and most recent way can shorten this tag, but I would suggest you not to do it, because essentially it's clear, it's simple, there are very very short line that you can remember and just help us to be clear on what we are doing. So welcome to the first example of HTML. This page is very simple. The HTML is not very clean. We will see in the future a little bit more details on how to write a better HTML, but the idea and the focus is just the scripted language. Essentially what this page is doing is taking the page and write on the page a message. The message is in Italian. It said "Ciao mondo, hello world." It's very classical IT informatic message, and it is in Italian because I am Italian. The output is in the next slide. So here you can see the result in the browser is simply "Ciao mondo." You have not adding any specific formatting. You have not adding anything that is let me say fancy, but it's just the first step. It's an easy peasy things to help you to see how you can work with it. And of course there are much more capabilities that we will explore together in the future. For the moment I will say you good afternoon, goodbye, have a nice Sunday. We'll keep in touch in the next future, and if you like this simple lesson, please put a like, subscribe to the channel. This will help me with the algorithm of YouTube, and possibly will help me to create a better stable course training for all of you. Thanks a lot. Have a nice weekend.